Jest z nami Oli Thompson po walce na KSW22. Oli, I know you seem pretty disappointed. There's a reason for this, but you know the fight you don't have nothing to be ashamed about. And how did you like the atmosphere, or the crowd, and you know all the show?
Sure, the show was amazing. You know, I really enjoyed it myself. The crowd was amazing. The walk-ins, everything about the show was really exciting, and I really enjoyed it as a fan and as a fighter. So I can't say enough to praise the general atmosphere of the show.
Now you're after the show. Can you tell us what was the original game plan?
Well, you know, it was very difficult as far as to make a plain strategy. Karol is a known grappler, ADCC champion grappler, but he also has a good distance on his kicks and sets a good range for him. Just outside of my punching range, you know, so it's very difficult to have one single plan because he's a guy that has a few options on what he can do. You know, he hasn't got amazing hands, but he's got very powerful kicks, and he's a threat if he's on top of you on the floor. So really my strategy was to stay busy, be busy with my hands, and take the takedowns if and when they appeared. But you know, they weren't really appearing too much during the fight, so the takedown didn't happen until the third round when it was apparent that was an opportunity for me, when my gas tank was full and Karol's was getting low. Unfortunately, obviously game plans are good as long as your opponent is playing along with your game plan. Sometimes your opponent doesn't want to play the same game and wants to change things. And in the first round, Karol changed my situation.
And we talked today. I mean, it was yesterday already. Yeah. So at the morning, and you were pretty relaxed. You told me you don't feel the pressure, yeah. And you were pretty relaxed during the fight. Yeah. So, but for some reason you couldn't let your hands go. So were there any reason for this?
You know. I don't want to give too many reasons, you know. I want to give respect to Karol for coming out and doing his job. You know, there were some reasons as to if and why the fight happened as it did. But that's for another time. You know, I will say a small information is that I wasn't quite prepared for the first round to begin, and it took me a round to really get into it. And if you look through the rounds, to the second to the third, the second round I started landing single shots, and he was missing. And the third round I was in control of the fight wherever we wanted to be. Sometimes you can lose the first round, but it can significantly take away from your physical abilities in certain ways from what you take. And as you saw, Karol did a very good job of taking away my front leg. So I had to change plan and change stance to southpaw stance, to left-hand stance, to prevent him from landing another big shot on that leg, because another big shot on that leg would have been a big problem for me.
And it's funny you mentioned this, because Karol was here a few minutes ago, and he said the same thing. Once you change your stance, you started to landing some bombs, and but before that your leg was hurt and you had a cut, blood in your eyes. Did it affect you somehow? You
know, sometimes I've got some scars that cut from time to time, and you know, it wakes you up a little bit. It makes you want if you're a fighter, the blood's going to make you fight. If you're not a fighter, really, the blood's going to make you stop. You know, the blood's going to make me fight. It's difficult because sometimes a messy fight, a bloody fight, the judges can. It's very easy for the judges to see the blood and to read that in their own way. You know, there wasn't a lot of. The only damage to me today was to my leg from 3 big leg kicks. A shot to my eye and nose was just he landed 2 big uppercuts, which scuffed across my face and give me cuts. I always bleed, you know, I'm a bleeder. But no, it was no significant damage other than that. But blood makes damage appear more than what it is. You know, I don't think you saw any point in the fight where I was worried about my fight. And I always believe I'm going to win. And I guess at the end of the fight, in my scoring, I'd won the fight, but it wasn't enough to be definite. And you know, this is how it goes. Sometimes you have a close fight. For example, I don't want any controversy. You know, I'm in Poland. It's hard to get the result in Poland. This is just a fact. You come to England, it's hard for Karol to get a result in England. This is normal. This is normal. You know, this is fair judging still. This is just how it is. Karol has a lot of support here. When he does a kick to my head and I block it, everyone goes, ooh. And I'm like, no, don't make no noise, because the judges can hear. When I do something that doesn't land, no one makes a noise. You know, this isn't me complaining. This is just how a fight plans out. And this is when I come to another country, I'm aware that this is just how it goes. The crowd reacts in certain ways, and that's how it is. So you know what? I'm not going to come out here and complain, make reasons. You know, I didn't do enough today for whatever reason, and that's just how it is.
And I was pretty close to your corner, and your corner guys that came with you, they gave you a lot of good advices, but there was a moment when you were cut and you didn't throw too many shots. They told you they will stop it if you don't let your hands go. Did you hear it? Did it make?
I mean, also? Yeah, I heard them say this advice, and the advice is good. If a fight had been stopped, it would have been bad, because you saw in the third round, I could do 5 rounds. You know, I can do 6 rounds. At the end of the fight, I was damaged on my leg, a cut on my eye, but my lungs and heart were same as normal. I was growing with the fight, you know. But these are 3 rounds fights. So that's how it is. You have to get the job done in 3 rounds, and I didn't do that. It took me a round to establish myself. The second round, nothing really hit me, and I was landing, so I felt like I won the second round. But it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the judges think. The judges obviously didn't have me winning the second round. I was landing shots right on the end of my shots, so I was feeling my knuckles like, bam, I'm landing. Karol was feeling it, but the judges will only judge it on what they see as significant landing through. So, and in the third round, there was. You know, if we carried on going, there's only going to be one. There was only be one winner. I think me, the crowd, and Karol would agree this. But it doesn't matter now.
I had this feeling he was playing some mind games with you before you started the fight, and during the fight in one of the breaks he gave you some, you know, some looks. You know, he was like staring at you very close to it. Did it affect you also?
No, it doesn't affect me. You know, I've boxed with big badass boxers before. You know, I boxed with Mark Potter, who's a killer. You know, I've grappled with world champion grapplers. So these matters not problems for me. You know, in actual fact, I played this game too. I played this game too in a different way. You know, I play games, I do things because this is a war. You know, we win the war physically and we win the war mentally. And when my opponent shows weakness, I wanna encourage that weakness. You know, when my opponent's tired, I'm gonna do some press-ups. When my opponent's got a cut on him, I'm gonna keep trying to hit his cut, because this is how we win fights. You know, this is not me being a clown. This is me psychologically trying to win the fight in the best way I can. And you know, I was certainly in the process of doing that at the end of the fight. But like I say, you know, not enough time.
2 more questions before I let you go. After the fight, at the press conference, post-conference, the owners, Maciej and Martin, they said you were one of the 3 guys who lost, but you made the biggest impression, the best impression. Would you be, you know, do you want to come back to KSW, to Poland, fight again?
Okay, I mean, on that subject, when Martin was talking in the press conference, Karol was, I'm grateful he was translating for me, you know, because there's big mutual respect after the fight, you know, and he translated, told me what it said, and I'm very happy that he felt that way, you know. I'm never quit or give up. I'm always trying to win the fight, and I always believe I can win the fight, you know. If a fight's in the street, the only winner that matters is the winner at the end. Yeah, you know, that's the only winner that matters. But in combat sports, the points matter. So Karol was translated for me, and it made me happy to see the bosses here appreciate my work. It wasn't my finest work, my finest skillful work, but I dug in and showed that I bring a certain level of intensity, and you know, you can't keep me down, you can't hold me down. As far as coming back here, I'm 99.9% sure I'll be back here very soon. I've had brief chats with some of the guys that running the show. They're very keen too, and it's just a matter of who, where, and when. And you know, it's a matter of if certain names want to accept me as opponent. If not, then there's other names that will definitely accept me as opponent, such as you know, Wallace, who put on a good performance today. He's going to accept me as an opponent. That's no doubt about it. He's a hungry young lion, so he wants these good fights. So the guys here know that I will fight anybody put in front of me. You know, that's not in question. So there's no worries about who I fight. And I want to come back. I've really enjoyed the professional show, the good crowd. You know, everything about the show's been good. So getting to the question, I will come back 100%. Who I come back against depends on how much some names think that they can handle this fight, because you've seen maybe 20% of what I can and will do in this fight today, and not everybody wants a piece of that.
Okay, it's 4 a.m. We'll not. So hopefully see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.